So I wanted to, I guess, chat to you about the ugly side of being a missionary in Manila. And that is the loneliness and the depression. I've been struggling with depression for a while now in Manila, and have sought out help from doctors and counsellors, and I'm on medication, and it's like a roller coaster. It could be doing well for a while, and then suddenly it hits you like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. So over over the Christmas period and January, I was having some counselling, and it really helped me, and my time back in Australia was really helpful. I could kind of just gather my thoughts together and recalibrate my mind to a healthier place, and my emotions to a healthier place. But just this week, actually, I started to feel those feelings of depression come back, and it's an isolating and lonely thing to feel like you have really no friends, even though I know I do. It's like the mind can play tricks on you to think that you're truly alone, and you are not gonna really be loved or anyway. I don't know what to say other than I just wanted to say that it's not all, happy and fulfilling and amazing here in Manila. There are times where, like today, I just don't want to get out of bed. It's almost, it's 12:30 in the day, and I just I can't get out of bed. I don't know what to do with myself, and I'm just kind of laying in bed crying, and like there's nowhere I can go, there's no one I can see. It's just me here.
Hi, so I wasn't planning on talking about this in my vlogs or my YouTube channel at all, possibly at a later stage, but as life would happen, it's come up quicker than I thought it would. And this channel is basically about my life as a missionary in Manila, and the good, the bad, the ugly, what it's like to be a missionary. And yesterday, and as you can see from my previous video, it was actually a pretty hard day for me, and I've written about having depression previously on social media and also my blog before I started the vlog, and it's not something that I am ashamed of or I hide from, but it's not also something that I use for attention or to gain sympathy or whatever from people. It's just, I'm trying to make it a normal thing to talk about depression. You know, I debated in my head whether I should actually show the footage of me being depressed and talk about it, because I'm not someone who wants to dwell in negativity, and I don't want to project negativity, and I don't want to have this be one big pity party, right? You know, I'm a Christian. I love God. God is good, and He's brought so many amazing things into my life. He's forgiven me of my sins. He's set me free from so many things, and being part of the church and being a missionary in Manila is an incredibly fulfilling and amazing journey. But along with that comes the other side of it, and it's another side that maybe people don't understand, or they don't know about, or we kind of just don't really talk about all that often. I'm just in an effort to be honest and transparent about my journey. I guess I want to talk about it. I struggled with depression for just over a decade, and received healing and kind of didn't feel depression for many years, probably 4 or 5 years, until I moved to Manila, and it kind of gradually came back over time. And like I said in my previous video, I sought out help. I was doing a lot better. I'm currently on antidepressants, and so things are going okay. But you know, for whatever reason, little things might trigger it, big things might trigger it, sometimes nothing triggers it. It's just kind of a chemical imbalance in my mind, and it will just so happen that one day I'm really, really down, and I can't really explain it to anyone. I can't. Often people will say, why do you feel that way, or what's going on, and I'm kind of at a loss of words to explain it to them. But so yesterday, it'd been building up for a little while, but it was a pretty full-on day for me. I spent probably up until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon just in bed crying, and I eventually got up and thought maybe if I went to the gym, started to get active, it would help me a little bit. And I went and sat on the bike for about 10 minutes and started to do some weight machines, and then I just felt a little bit overwhelmed and a bit just very heavy about the whole idea. So I came back to my apartment and just basically chilled out here for the rest of the day. And when I'm depressed, I don't have any, I guess for people who have experienced it, it's very irrational. The whole thing is very irrational. You, part of you understands what you're doing and thinking and feeling is irrational, and I can almost step outside of myself and see myself being this way and saying, well, if only you just got up and went for a walk. Why don't you just call your mum or your family? Why don't you just call a friend? Why don't you just do this? It'll probably make you feel better. But I think people with depression will understand that it's like your mind is at war with itself. Like what I know to be good and right, I will do the opposite. I am actually self-sabotaging, and yeah, so eventually, and sometimes I can work myself up to an hysterical state where it doesn't really matter what anyone says to me or does. I've reached this point where I cannot control my emotions, and I cannot control the crying or the thoughts, and I'm just in this other state of being. And that's when it gets a little bit scary for me, because I do have thoughts of suicide, I do have thoughts of self-harm. And the good news is that throughout the day I eventually just calmed down and I got back to a normal kind of emotional state. But by all means, like, the feelings kind of never left. I just had reached a point where I could control them a little bit more, and I usually just try and do things that make me happy. So, you know, watching my favorite TV show or eating some chocolate. There's really basic things that I know will give me instant joy or instant gratification in the moment, and I don't think that's bad to do that when you're in that emotional state. I mean, I remember chatting to my friend before I moved here, and she told me a statistic which I've can't remember at the moment, about the really high rate of missionaries who have depression, like moving to a foreign country, don't really know anyone, don't really fit in with the culture, don't speak the language, single, living alone, kind of like, I really did thrust myself into a situation where although I'd had training and I'd learnt a lot, I wasn't fully equipped and experienced to be thrown into the role that I'm currently in at church, and pushed outside of my comfort zone and all of that kind of stuff. And having had a history of depression, well, it was only kind of natural that might pop up again. But, you know, I have God, I have His strength, I have His love, and sometimes I think, well, I shouldn't, you know, just rely on God, just rest in God, just go to Him for help, just He will strengthen me, He'll give me joy, He'll give me peace. And on paper that seems like that should and would work, and often I feel like I'm a very weak leader, I'm a very weak Christian, for me to be depressed, and I should be a stronger person, I should be a happier person. But I think a missionary or a leader in the church is just like anyone else. They face the same battles, and sometimes even worse of a struggle, because they have the responsibility to look after people. And so I've yesterday I reached out to a few people, but I generally keep it quiet, and I don't tell people about my struggles, or I don't really try and make it known, because I want to appear like a strong leader, and I want people to be able to feel confident to come to me with any of their issues. I don't want to be the one that is having the issues. I don't want to be the one that people need to care for. But the truth is, like, it's part of my journey. That's part of who I am. I guess it's just this journey that I'm on, for healing, to get better, to be able to deal with it in better ways. And I think that possibly because I have depression, I can relate to other people who are in similar situations and offer them advice where I've struggled and where I've gotten victory and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think by any means this it should be a weakness, like, although it is it appears to be a massive weakness. But you know, I'm still strong in my faith, and I'm still strong in my calling and what I need to do here, and it doesn't weaken my capacity to serve and to minister to people. If anything, gives me a different depth and a different understanding for people. But yeah, so like I said, like I kind of want to apologize for my video about depression, but I also don't want to hide it. You know, and if you're a praying person, you know, like, please pray for me and pray for other missionaries that sometimes are doing it tough, and it doesn't always appear on the outside that they're doing it tough. Like, I live in an amazing apartment, I have amazing friends, and our church is amazing, and by all means, like, I'm not externally doing a tough life, but often the toughest part is a mental battle. It's the internal struggle. And yeah, so if you pray for me, pray for other missionaries, and, you know, like, support each other, love each other, be open to looking after each other. And yeah, like, let's not make this a stigma or something that people don't understand. Let's make it something that is more normal to talk about, more normal to help each other out, and just live in community to help each other. Anyway, so that's all. I hope you're not turned off by this video. Send me messages, questions, or private messages if you need to talk, or you want to talk about anything got to do with depression or mission work. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, bye.